And it says we are live. Hey, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Low Budget Livestream. I see that Bryson has joined us. I wasn't even sure if any of this is going to work. Let me know if everything's working because ever since we did the last time we did one of these, I've changed some equipment and things like that. So hopefully you can hear me. This is the Low Budget Livestream. As always, I'm your host, the real Gino Reynolds. Um, I wasn't even sure if this was going to happen tonight. Uh, the last week or so, I've been pretty sick, and no, I'm not going to mention the big C that'll get me kicked off of YouTube. That virus that sounds a lot like a beer. Um, don't worry, I'm feeling a lot better now, but yeah, I didn't think today was going to happen, and I was like, man, is it really? I was like, is it really been 2 months since I did one of these? I didn't even remember if I knew how to do it or remembered how to set it up or anything. Desiree, how you doing? Glad you could join us. So yeah, just the last week I've been the stomach has not been real fantastic, and I was supposed to tape something with somebody on Sunday, and that didn't happen either. Uh, I'm feeling a lot better now. Still not 100%, but hey, we're uh, we're going along. Zepser and joins us. How you doing, bud? My work is losing its goddamn mind over Corona. Yeah, it's that my work has also definitely got on the we need to do everything we can bandwagon. I mean, it's not the worst idea, but I don't know. It's one of those things that it's like, well, how serious do I take this until, how serious do I take it until it happens, and I'm sure it is serious, but, I see a lot of things are getting canceled because of the big C. Was it E3 got canceled? Ace Comic Con got canceled. I think it was supposed to be in Boston. I've heard WrestleMania might get delayed. Um, there's been of a lot of things they're saying might happen because of this. So um, the Bond movie got moved. That one affected me not a lot, but a little bit. I mean, A, I was looking forward to it, and B, uh, I was gonna debut a new Geno Spada games for Bond, uh, and especially I'm kind of peeved, even though it'll eventually happen. I'm kind of peeved though because it let's just say it took me a while to get the game to work that I was going to play, and then all of a sudden it's like we're moving the movie. Um, so yeah, well, it'll eventually happen, thankfully. So the work does not the work does not is not in vain. It'll just happen a lot later. Um, so yeah, just a lot of things happening. Bryson says NCAA March Madness will have no fans present. I didn't even hear that one. I'm not surprised by that though. Daniel joins us. How you doing, bud? And Desiree says E3 got canceled. I I've got a feeling E3 will do something online. And that's what I think they'll do, like some kind of online thing. I don't know what, like some just like live stream kind of thing. I'm not sure if that is officially what they'll do, but I have a feeling they'll do something like that. I don't know. I haven't been reading up on it. I saw that they had canceled. Paul joins us. How you doing? Um, but yeah, a lot of things have happened because of the. I'm trying to think of something to call the big C. Um, can I call? Should I call it like the lime beer virus, or I don't know. I'm uh, or maybe I don't know what was it. Was it the Fast and the Furious movies that you can have any beer you want, but it has to be you know. We'll call it can we call it the Fast and Furious virus, or I don't know. I'm out of practice if you couldn't tell. But anyway, oh, and then that's another thing. Vin Diesel was like, Fast and Furious is getting released. People need movies right now. It's like, okay, there, Vin, not going to save the world. One Fast and Furious movie at a time. But anyway, yeah, if you guys got anything you want to talk about, I'm not sure how long we'll do this tonight. But if you got questions or comments or whatever, I'll read them and answer them. But like I said, I'm still not 100%, but I'm getting there. I'm behind on everything. I didn't get to do my Star Wars video. Plus, I worked last weekend. Plus, I'm working this weekend. So there's a lot going on. But yeah, so yeah, I need to do my Star Wars episode 3 or Clone Wars episode 3 review, and of course the new one comes out Friday. So I'll be behind on that. I went back and watched all of Castlevania on Netflix because there wasn't that many of them to watch, and I hadn't really watched season 2 in a while. I don't even remember why I didn't review it. I think Bill Fields and I were supposed to review that together, and then he got busy, and then it just didn't happen. So I'm probably going to do something on, Castlevania so far. I watched Hunters on Amazon. I don't know if I'm even going to talk about it. I might. I don't know. I don't know if it's been too long for me to talk about it or not, that I can remember everything. And I don't have time to watch it again. So I saw The Way Back. I got to do that. So I'm a little behind on everything, being how things are going for me the last month and a half or so, or I guess it'd be 2 months now. And then just being behind on everything, being, like I said, I've been sick a week. So anyway, there's a lot for me to do. So I'll go ahead and look at the comments here. Let's see. Paul says, trying to survive this thing. Tired of using Lysol and bleach to clean my hands and avoid people coughing and sneezing. Daniel says, there are tons of questions I want to ask you and tell you something just to make you laugh. Hey, I'm welcome the questions. Yeah, Daniel says, what about beer virus? Yeah, I've been just seeing too many stories about how YouTube is like saying you can't talk about this. It's like it's the news right now. How can we not? Bryson says, is it Tecate? Is that how you pronounce that beer? The Tecate virus, since Tecate is a better beer. Yeah, but wouldn't we want it to be connected to a bad beer? And I used to drink a little of the C, but yeah, I haven't been a fan of that one for a long time. Let's see. Desiree says, say Corona with a heavy Mexican accent. Really roll that R. Corona. Paul says, you're going to see Bloodshot this week. Yes. I'm seeing The Hunt tomorrow. And then I'll be seeing Bloodshot Friday afternoon. I got to work Saturday. It's going to be another busy weekend. But yes, I will be seeing Bloodshot. But I had to see The Hunt because the quote unquote controversy. I have a feeling it's going to be a huge letdown. I want it to just be funny and make fun of everybody. And it probably will make fun of everybody, but will it be funny? I don't know. Or will it try to get too serious? That's what something else I don't want to see, is that movie get too serious. But I just wasn't in any real hurry to see yet another Vin Diesel movie where he's a superhuman who probably ends up with the cute girl at the end. And it is, invincible and no one can touch him, even though, I know he gets blown to bits a few different times and little robots put him back together. I don't know. I have a feeling that Bloodshot should have been R. I don't know. But then again, Vin Diesel likes to make money. Bryson says, nothing I want to see is out around me. I want to see Guns Akimbo, but isn't playing anywhere close. I'm jealous, Brad. I've seen it. Guns Akimbo, you can rent it on Vudu. I haven't got to see it yet, but it is on the quote unquote list. But yeah, Guns Akimbo, you can rent it on Vudu. It costs like $6 or $7, but you can rent it at home. So, and I have a feeling that's what he did. That's what Brad did when is watched it at home. I'm not positive on that. I haven't talked to him about it, but I was just looking on Vudu, and it's one of those still in theaters rentals that you can do. Daniel says the last 10 minutes of The Turning is very confusing, more confusing than Downton Abbey movie, which I didn't see, which is saying much because I watched the movie without seeing the series. That's why I didn't watch the movie. I don't honestly. I've already forgotten The Turning. It's one of those. I think it was trying to be deep, and it just was dumb. Let's see. Desiree says, by the way, Onward was fantastic. Saw it Sunday, and I absolutely adored it. Gave me the warm fuzzies. My BFF and me were the only ones who got the magic range joke. I thought it was funny. Yeah, I love the D&D humor in that movie. I liked the movie a lot. I really did, and I love the deep cuts and a lot of it. I just wanted more. I think I was just let down because I wanted more. A lot of people are comparing that movie to The Good Dinosaur, especially since they're releasing another movie so soon. But what is it? Soul. I think that's what it's called. But honestly, I thought, I actually, after seeing The Good Dinosaur a second time, I'm not going to say I love that movie, but I got it. I got that the fact that it was a Western and it made sense. But yeah, I really did like the movie. I know they had to bridge the gap between D&D fans and just people wanting to go see a kids movie. But as the D&D fan, I wanted something like totally D&D. And of course, I love the brother character because, that guy, he reminded me a lot of me at that age. So I did like the movie a lot. Daniel says, what about the life of the party virus? I don't know. I don't know which one would worst to sit through. Daniel says, Onward's made 10 of 10, but Soul will be better because Pete Docter's director. You see, I actually said it was just weird that they're releasing those so close together. And that's what they did last time when they had The Good Dinosaur, and was it Inside Out? I think they released so close together. I don't exactly remember which two, but I just know that The Good Dinosaur got pushed back, and I think we had two Pixar movies that year. Let's see. Jumped on me here. Bryson says, did they edit The Hunt after the controversy? I think I read that somewhere. I have no idea. I just know that the reason it didn't get released because there was like shootings and stuff. So I don't know what it's going to be. The trailer, the new trailer didn't really do. The first trailer I loved, where it showed the woman in the store and she didn't know where she was and all that. I like that. But the new trailer just seems like it's forcing it, like, hey, we're controversial. Come see us. We're controversial. Daniel says, sarcastically, I'm sure since you like Olive Garden, you tried the never-ending pasta. You tried yes, the Sonic, the Sonic forcing Olive Garden. Yeah, that was something. I think I don't remember if I mentioned that in my review or not. Yeah, the Olive Garden was way forced that movie. Still like Sonic movie though. Let's see. Did I see the new Scooby-Doo trailer? I haven't seen a new one recently. I saw the one that has the IKEA joke, and that was a while back. If there's a new one, I haven't seen it. Bryce says, thanks, I'll rent it. I recently rented VFW. That movie is a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that one too. I like the cast. I like the idea. It just looks like a good time. Bill says, I want Vin Diesel to star in a Mr. Potato Head movie where his body gets destroyed and he's brought back like the Bionic Man, only he's Mr. Potato Head. Then he beats up everyone against the girl, as long as she becomes Mrs. Potato Head. Dale says, there'll be a new trailer for Soul tomorrow. I'm surprised they didn't release that trailer a week ago so it could be attached to in front of Onward, but they released the old teaser on front of it. Yeah, when I went to go see Onward, I went to the advanced screening like a week or whatever before, and I don't even remember if they showed one trailer or one or two trailers. They didn't show much in front of it, which really surprised me. I did enjoy the Maggie Simpson cartoon. I thought that was pretty funny. Let's see. Bryson says the TV news, Westworld season 3 comes out soon. And does anyone care after the cluster F of season 2? I'm not interested. I only watched season 1 and I enjoyed it, but then it's like, do I really want to invest more time in the show? Not really. So yeah, I don't know. I lost interest in that show. I don't know. I like the twists and turns of season 1s, but anyway. Daniel says this could be a good real rant idea. What are you referring to as good real rant idea? Let's see if you're talking about Olive Garden. Let's see. Desiree says, I feel like they didn't have faith in Onward. I can definitely see that. I mean, there ain't a lot of merch. And I would freaking pay to have Barley's patches as pins. I want that Smote one. Yeah, that dude, I love that character. Yeah, like I said, I think that's why we're getting to Pixar movies, is because this one, I mean, it's got a very niche audience, I think, which is unfortunate because it's a decent movie. It's got a good story to it. It's just, I don't know. Again, I didn't think it went far enough, but that's just me. Bill says, the thing about the big C is that it's highly infectious. Some people show no symptoms. 2% of people who've gotten it die, and there's no vaccine. It could be 100 million deaths if not contained. Let's see. But he says, on the plus side, if you get it, there's a 98% chance you live. Yeah, I'm just hoping for the best. Just, I'm not going to give the public service announcement of what you need to do to be hygienic. When it comes to seeing things stop because of it, like E3 and things like that, and like I mentioned, Ace Comic-Con, Indiana Comic-Con hasn't said they're not doing theirs yet. I think they're waiting. They still might cancel, but it happens in it's next month sometime, so like in a month or so. So I'm not sure if they're canceling or anything. But yeah, I don't know. I've got a lot of ideas for conventions and stuff this year, so I'm kind of hoping not like all of them get canceled or the world ends. I'd like to use some of my ideas. Paul says the trailer shows Blue Falcon and Dick Dastardly. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that movie, but I probably, unless it shows up in a theater, I probably won't watch that trailer. I don't want to have everything. I have a feeling that's the kind of movie that's going to ruin everything in the trailer. Daniel says, thoughts on Minions: The Rise of Gru trailer. It looks like a Despicable Me, which is better than it looking like a Minions. So, I mean, I felt the Minions should have been this anyway, but they wanted to just have a cheaper movie where they hire not too many people to do voices, and I did not like the Minions. I didn't like Despicable Me 3. I liked 2, and I thought 1 was good. Hopefully it feels like 1 or 2. I'm not real excited for it. I'm just glad they're finally bringing Gru back. I mean, I'm sorry, the Minions just don't work without Gru. Anyway, Daniel says, I really like Minions 2 trailer. The humor is good. The animation looks incredible. And the auto backstory is hilarious. yeah, I mean, it looks fun, and I hope it is, but Illumination, unfortunately, sometimes just paints by numbers, and you know, I don't know. Let's see. I mean, I hope it's good. I really do. My son wants to see it. Ryan wants to see it. Um, let's see. Bryce says if Milan flops, will coronavirus be blamed? Probably. Um, I've heard. I see. Look, I don't have this huge connection to Milan, the cartoon. I like it, you know. But I think people are going to be more mad that they cut characters out of it than anything. Not only is supposedly Mushu is gone, but the love interest is gone too. I can't remember. I don't remember all the characters' names in that, but because they were like, well, because he was our superior officer, but they fell in love. That's a bad message, and it's like it's not like he, you know, did bad things to her. They fell in love, you know. Um, so I don't know. Disney's being a little overprotective. I don't know. Let's see. Daniel says, "Well, I do find young Gru a little annoying so far, but maybe I'll get used to it when the film comes out. Just like I got used to Gru's twin brother in Despicable Me. I hope he's not like Gru's twin brother, and I couldn't stand the twin brother. Um, I I kind of enjoy the annoying Gru. I just like Gru, and I'm glad they were able to get Steve Carell to do it again. Um, yeah, I didn't like the twin brother in Despicable Me 3. I thought it was lazy storytelling. But anyway, teach his own. Daniel says, I'm in a real round. Oh, Disney releasing a trailer for Soul a few days after Onward. I was releasing instead of before. Just trying to joke. Okay. Desiree says, I mean, people are kind of over panicking wearing masks and stuff, but the pros say masks don't do much. The only thing you got to do is keep your hands clean, keep your hands off your face, wearing gloves, and wear gloves if anything. Yeah, it's just stay clean. There's the public service announcement from the real Gino. Um, um, Bill says masks stop you from spreading it. Um, let's see. Paul says surprise Justice League Dark Apocalypse War is R rated. I didn't know that. That's great though. I enjoyed that DC has embraced R ratings. I mean, it didn't do so good for them with as much as I loved the Birds of Prey movie. I thought it was really good. Um, and I enjoyed that it was R rated. I understand that a lot of teenagers want to go see Harley Quinn, so they did kind of neuter themselves there a little bit, but especially in this animated stuff that they're doing, um, they're embracing the R rating, and I'm fine with that. Sometimes it works, like the Harley Quinn show. Sometimes it doesn't work, like the Titan show. Um, let's see. Daniel says, I'm excited for Sony Animation's Connected. The director of the movie is the creator of Gravity Falls, and Lord and Miller are producing it, which direct the first Lego movie and produced Spider-Verse. Yeah. I don't know about the movie, but with that team behind it, I'm all for it. Let's see. Bryce says the trailer for Greyhound did not impress me. I have not seen it yet. That's the Tom Hanks one, if I'm not mistaken. It's a little too over the top. The Germans seem too cartoonish. The historian in me thinks it's going to be dumb. It could be. Yeah, I have not seen that trailer yet. Daniel says he's already blaming the big C virus on Onward's underperformance. Very well could be. Then again, it is a niche story, and they didn't really market it all that well either. Now says the new trailer for Scoob is pretty good, but the old trailer is better because the new trailer has the Falcon Fury dabs. Daniel says, did Ryan enjoy the Sonic movie? Yes, he did. He loved the Sonic movie. He had a really good time watching that, and I hope I'm not spoiling anything for anybody. If you haven't seen it, I guess I won't say. Yeah, if you saw what happened in the mid-credit scene, that's what I'm refer. This one I'm gonna refer to. He After the movie got over, before the credits, he really had to go to the bathroom, and I said, "Can you hold it for like 2 minutes?" He's like, "No, I gotta go. I gotta go." It's like, you better get back quick, or you're gonna miss something big. And he made it back. I think he was a little upset he missed part of the credits because they were showing like the video game credits, uh, showing like the video game Sonic fighting a video game version of the movie's version of Robotnik in like video game animation. Uh, so he was a little disappointed in that, but when the mid credit scene happened, he was really excited. So yeah, he had a good time at it. Paul says he's seen the Sonic movie twice. Yeah, me too. Um, I really enjoyed it. I don't know if it's one I'm going to repeat over and over again. But that being said, when it comes out on video, I'm sure we're going to have to get it. And Bill says, I'm glad they patched it. If you're referring to the Sonic movie, yes, that movie would not have worked if it looked like it looked before. It would not have worked at all, because you needed that connection. Look, I like the voice acting for Sonic. I thought the silly story surrounding Sonic, for the most part, worked. I mean, there is some stuff that's kind of dumb. And as much as I like Jim Carrey in it, he got a little too Jim Carrey at times. But like the scene where he's trying to figure out how the quill works. But if you didn't have that connection to like the look of it, if it didn't look like Sonic, it would have been terrible. Just that trailer alone proved it, I think. Daniel says the Sonic movie satisfied my childhood. Glad your son likes it and enjoyed it better than Detective Pikachu. Yeah, and I think that's part of the disconnect is Detective Pikachu, while it had Pokemon, both my sons wanted to see Pokemon trainers and Pokemon battles. And yeah, you got Pokemon battles and stuff, sure. But it was, granted, I'd never played the Detective Pikachu game or anything, but I could see why. See, my son had never played. My sons had never played them either. They were into the cartoon and the cards. So that's what they were hoping for. And while I think he enjoyed Detective Pikachu, he definitely didn't like it as much as Sonic. He really dug Sonic a lot. Excuse me. Paul says a lot of movies are getting pushed back. If you mean by the big C, yes, they are. I wouldn't doubt if more movies got pushed back. I heard another one today, but I don't remember which one it was. They moved another one back. But yeah, I can't remember. It was something Sony. They pushed one back. Let's see. Bill says, I think Dr. Robotnik's going to clone Sonic using the quill, which will create Shadow. I can see that happening. Also, that opening scene where it showed Sonic as a kid, those natives that were after him kind of had the Knuckles dreads. So Knuckles could be a factor in it as well. I hope they don't try to cram too much into the sequel. But yeah, I could see Shadow eventually popping up, maybe in the third movie. I don't know about the second. But then again, you never know. Let's see. Desiree says new Dracula movie being made will be closer to the book or some dramatic retelling. Well, being that the Dark Universe is supposedly dead, we think. I mean, come on, we had Dracula Untold. They tried to cram an after credit scene into that, and then we got The Mummy, which I'm still probably the only person in the history of people that actually kind of enjoyed that dumb movie. And then, because I wanted to see more of that stuff. I was like, man, this is going to be silly, and I want to see it. But they, of course, canceled it, and I liked The Invisible Man. I have a feeling they're going to try to update it. I really do. I don't think it's going to be like Bram Stoker's Dracula. I mean, because people are like, well, you already had the perfect Bram Stoker's Dracula. And I'm sorry, that movie's far from perfect. I remember back in high school when that movie came out, we were going to watch it in class, and everyone was saying how exactly like the book, the Bram Stoker Dracula's movie was. And I'm like, we were reading the book at the time. I'm like, it is not the same. I mean, yeah, there's a lot that is, but there's, and as we were watching it, the person I was arguing with, they were saying it was exactly the same. I just kept pointing out to him. It's like, do you remember when this and this and this happened in the book? But anyway, yeah, it's going to be, I have a feeling it's going to be some kind of updated Dracula story, and they're going to ruin any, they're going to ruin any credit they earned with the Invisible Man. Daniel says, unpopular opinion, I enjoyed Fantasy Island. Good for you. Oh man, yeah, I'm not even gonna think about that movie. Just the end joke alone, it just tells you everything you need to know about that movie. But if you enjoyed it, hey, good for you. Daniel says, just tell your kids that the reason why Detective Pikachu doesn't have a lot of Pokemon battles because budget cuts. Yeah, I'm sure they'll get that. Desiree says, they better not have Shadow before they have my Tails. Need my adorable Fox Boy. Still need to see Sonic. Yes, you should see Sonic. It's very entertaining. We mentioned the Olive Garden product placements. If you can avoid those, which it's like, why did they not pick Sonic? I mean, that would have been cheesy, just like Sonic's tater tots. There's your advertisement. But yeah, Olive Garden it felt so weird for them cramming that in there. But yes, definitely go see Sonic. It's worth seeing. Let's see. Dan says, No Time to Die got moved to November. My Spy got moved to April 17th. Trolls 2 got moved up to April 10th. Peter Rabbit 2 got moved up. That Peter Rabbit 2 is the one that I saw earlier because I remember it being August. Yeah, that one kind of surprised me. I know they want the family movie money, but because they were releasing that one at Easter, right? They were supposed to, I think. So yeah, a lot of them are getting moved. My Spy, I don't know why they moved it. Probably just to get it out of the same weekend as Bloodshot and The Hunt, because that was only got moved a month, so that's not too bad. Let's see. Paul says, hearing they might reboot Frankenstein, they're going to reboot everything. Of course they are. Yeah, they're gonna try to retell everything. The last time, of course, we got a Frankenstein movie, I believe, was I, Frankenstein, and we don't need another one of those. We don't need another story of sexy Frankenstein. If anyone remembers that movie, the Frankenstein, he has. It's weird thinking of someone that was pieced together having sex. Let's see. Bryce says Peter Rabbit 2 got delayed 4 months. Yeah, that was the big Sony one. Desiree says, beholdeth Keanu's garbage accent and Dracula. Yeah, man, I love Keanu. I really do. But Dracula wasn't really his forte. And plus, he's grown as an actor and as an entertainer since then, too. So, even someone as amazing as Keanu Reeves has their misses. Let's see. Daniel says, also heard that your Fantasy Island showing was bad. Is it Brad's Bye Bye Man screening bad? Yeah, it was just Fantasy Island on Valentine's Day was not fun for me because I talked about it. I'm not going to get into all that tonight. But yeah, just the screening was not fun, and people made it that way. And I don't remember Brad's Bye Bye Man story. I just know he had a bad screening. I'm getting old. I can't remember everything. Bryce said, I just saw South by Southwest been canceled. Yeah, I heard about that. They're doing something, or supposedly talking about doing something, releasing the movies online somehow. That they were going to show there. They were giving people the opportunity to show their movies online. I don't know if it's going to be some pay thing or some subscription thing or whatever, but they talked about doing their movies online that they were going to show. And I haven't looked up stuff around me. Like I said, I know Indiana Comic Con is still on as far as I know. I know Ebert Fest in Champagne's coming up soon. I haven't followed it for a while, but I know they've been announcing films and stuff. I don't know if they're going to cancel that or not. A lot of things are probably going to get canceled. A lot of movies are going to get moved, especially the ones that'll make a lot of money. Let's see. Where was I? Daniel says, I just looked up Deadline's website and they just reported Harvey Weinstein is now going to jail for 23 years. Yep. That's a big one. It was really him walking in the walker. See, working in news, we saw that every day, and him walking in the walker, trying to gather sympathy, and I guess he was allowed to speak today, and he was just like, I don't understand, and yeah, it's if he did the things they said he did, then 23 years isn't enough, but probably be enough for him to not make it out of prison. But I'm willing to bet it's not over. I'm sure there's going to be appeals and everything else. I don't know how everything court works, but I'm sure he's probably, even when he does go to prison, it isn't going to be, he'll probably end up in some hospital type prison because they're saying he's got heart conditions and stuff. I'm sure he's bought himself a lot of favors. But anyway, yeah, 23 years. Excuse me. It'll probably be enough for him to not last in prison if he even does go to prison. Bill says Vin Diesel in Sexy Frankenstein, probably, and he'll be super awesome and be unstoppable, and he'll get the cute girl at the end. Or it might be about family. We don't know. Daniel says, don't know why it took a while for him to get guilty. Court cases take a long time, and people. It took a long time for people to listen. That's why it took so long. I mean, it's just imagine this, and this is not something. I mean, I believe he did what they said he did. I mean, I've heard too many stories, and I know. I'm not going to say I have the evidence, like some YouTubers saying we know he did it because we have no evidence, but we know he did it. Imagine if he didn't do it, and he's being railroaded. I'm just saying there's always something. Like I said, I believe he did it. But I mean, that jury, think about the pressure that was on that jury. I mean, think about it. If they said he was not guilty, they're going to have people after him. If they say that he's guilty, they're going to have people after him. I wouldn't want to be on that jury. I know a lot of people probably would I want to be on that jury because I want to convict him. And that's not the point of being on a jury. I'd want it to be fair either way. I'm not saying, again, I think he did it and he didn't even get what he deserved. He deserves more bad things that happened to him. But he still deserves a fair shake. I hate saying that. It's hard not to be biased if you feel someone did something, but he deserves a fair shake just like everybody else. So, but I mean, if he did what he did, or if he did what they said he did, then, he's getting some punishment, and he's probably not going to last those 23 years. Bryson says a live action Peter Pan is in the works, but nothing will surpass 2015's Pan. Oh God, I forgot about that movie. How could I even forget about that movie? What was it? The pirates were singing Nirvana. Was it Was it Smells Like Teen Spirit or something like that that they were singing? It was weird. That was a weird movie. I don't remember everything, but I remember it being a really weird movie. Um, yeah, so I don't know if there's other also there's some movie called Wendy coming out too. Um, man, I tell you, they'll grab on to a to a franchise and just squeeze everything out of it. Um, Desiree says if Peter Pan ain't the sociopath he is in the book, then I ain't interested. I've never read the book, but I've heard stories, and good luck getting them to tell that story. That's the thing. It's when you think Peter Pan, you think Disney, and that's what. Anytime someone tries to do something different, whether it be good or not, like the Pan movie, tried to do something different with it, and I mean, while it wasn't good, at least they tried something. But yeah, if chances are most Peter Pan movies are going to be kid friendly, especially when Disney does it. Excuse me. Daniel says, "What family or kids film you saw in theaters before you had Andy and Ryan?" What family or kids films you saw in theaters before you had Andy and Ryan? What do you mean before? Like before they were born? I don't know what you mean by that question there, Daniel. Sorry. Let's see. Paul says, hope that Black Widow don't get moved back. That's a tricky one. Will Disney move back their movies? Because that's what, May or end of April, May, something like that. That's a tricky one. Will they move it back? I don't know. I here's the thing, if Disney moves that back, I mean, when is WandaVision coming out? Does what happens in Black Widow have something to do with WandaVision? That's the big thing about said connected universe is if one thing, I mean, it's one of the problems that Marvel even had in the comics was if there's a delay on one thing, it really screws up your story. Comic fans were probably a little more forgiving because they can hold off reading a book or whatever. No one's going to want to hold off seeing that movie when it's only going to be in the theaters for a month or 2 months. So what all they going to have to push back? They're going to have to push back everything if Black Widow gets pushed back. So I don't know. I don't know if it'll get pushed back or not. I'm not too afraid of said virus that I won't go to a theater, but they're going to push them back. They're going to push them back. I can't, I can't control what movie theaters do. I don't see movie theaters closing, but I do see movies getting pushed back because they can do what they want. It's their movies, I guess. It wouldn't be the first time movies got delayed. That being said, how many are going to get delayed? And yeah, for Marvel, that's a big thing because you push back one, you got to push them back all. I know that the Falcon and Winter Soldier, the shoot for that got pushed back because of the fears of what's going on. So I think they were in Prague, I think is what it was, and they had to stop the shoot. Daniel says this month marks 4th anniversary of the best animated film 2010 decade, which is Zootopia. I don't know if I'd call it the best, but it's definitely up there. I have to go through the entire list, and I'm not going to do that right now. But hey, Zootopia is fantastic. I love Zootopia. Especially all the in jokes. Let's see. Let's see. Daniel says, I hope they will push back Black Widow because they'll do better performance at a later date. I don't know how far they push it back into the summer. Maybe at least they don't have 3 movies this year, Marvel. Daniel says, what family or kids films do you remember seeing in theaters before Andy and Ryan were born? I mean, I used to see just about everything cartoon wise. So, I mean, like, my favorite Pixar movie is Monsters Inc. So I almost said Monsters University, even though I like that one. Monsters Inc., things like that. Um, I don't really remember everything, but I used to go see a lot of that stuff. And the boys don't go to a ton of movies. I mean, you know, Andy's interests are more stuff that's on TV, and Ryan is still learning how to behave in a theater. So it's hard to take him to movies. Um, he doesn't realize that you can't talk through an entire movie. Um, Desiree says, yeah, in the book, Peter didn't have anyone raising him correctly, so he lacks a conscience and sees everything as a game, even killing. If a lost boy ages, they lose the game and he offs them. Oh, wow. He even will just turn on them just out of boredom. Peter Pan is a monster. That's insane. Um, I would like to see that movie. Very Lord of the Flies. Zepster says, my work just got, oh, you kidding me? Jeez. And yes, I hope you get paid. That's terrible. We had a big meeting at our work, our quarterly meeting, and normally it's mandatory. But now they were just like, we encourage you to be there, and they wanted to talk about all that stuff. And yeah, they definitely gave us the spiel about staying clean. And today in the break room, they had like piles and piles of like white, like the disinfectant wipes and things like that. Whenever I came back from my break, I looked in there and it was just piled on the table. So yeah, it's going to be all about being clean for a while. Paul says Tinkerbell wasn't his conscience. Yeah. And Desiree says, heck no, was Tink a conscience? She was vindictive and jealous. She was definitely jealous in the, she's definitely a jealous character. I always thought that the Hook version of, or at least for some part of it, even though it was kind of creepy, I liked the Hook version of Tinkerbell because that showed the jealous side of Tinkerbell. They ended up a little too nicey nice in that movie, but yeah, I liked the jealous side of Tinkerbell on that. Let's see, where was I? Bill says, I'm sure the live action Peter Pan will closely follow the anime version since that's a recipe for money. Exactly. Paul says the first Toy Story is awesome. I'm still partial to part 2. I like part 1, but I'm still partial to 2. Bill says, minus the really problematic section that features what makes the red man. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's probably gonna be like a lot of these new movies. It's gonna feel like there's some I've enjoyed, some I haven't, and it's gonna be. I think Dumbo is the biggest example of Disney on an apology tour. The end of Dumbo was a PSA. I mean, Danny DeVito is looking at you, talking about how humane they are now. And I think they could have done it through storytelling. But anyway, let's see, where was I? Daniel says, remember seeing Pearl Harbor, Unbreakable, Bug's Life, Shrek, Ants, Sixth Sense in theaters. Yeah, see, back then, movie viewing for me was sporadic. Even before 2011, I didn't see a lot of things I didn't want to see. So that was the big difference between my movie viewing then and now. Let's see. Bryce says, speaking of conscious and Calendo's Pinocchio, Jiminy Cricket is actually killed by Pinocchio and comes back as a ghost. Lovely. Zepster says, be sure to wash your hands. Who are the gross pigs that worked? You say that and it's funny, but it's unfortunately true. Not everybody does. I've seen many a times I don't like going to the bathroom at the theater if I can avoid it, but I've seen too many people walk away from the urinal and not wash their hands. They just walk right past the sinks. And of course, they'd probably make the argument, well, I didn't touch it. But, anyway. Um, Desiree says, I keep worrying about my job. We're right next to military base and an airport, and people coming from all over the place. It's, I don't know. I mean, they just made it a pandemic, and it's only going to get crazier. I know, what was the movie Contagion or something like that? Became like the most viewed movie on like Netflix there not too long ago, like the most streamed movie, and it's gonna be a thing for a while. Let's see. Where was I? Paul says thought she was like Jiminy Cricket. No, Tinkerbell. Probably depends on the story. Daniel says, so far, the news said that my state, New Mexico, have 3 people who got the virus. Yeah, here in Illinois, I think there's been some up near Chicago, as far as I know. And that's about it. I know a lot of it seems to be like coastal cities. But yeah, I won't pretend like I know everything about this, even though I have to look at it on the news every day. Rob joins us. How you doing, bud? What's up, everyone? What did I miss? Oh, everything. You missed everything. No, I'm just kidding. We're just about done. No, I'm just playing. Glad you can join us, bud. By the way, Rob, I know he's not announcing the channel name, but he's going to start doing his gaming on Twitch. So if you want to know the channel, contact him on Twitter. I think he wants you to DM him. If you want to know the channel, if you want to watch him game, he's moving his stuff over to Twitch for a while because people are being, people on YouTube whenever he's trying to do game streams, and he just wants to have fun and do game streams. So if you want to know where he's going to be gaming on Twitch, contact him on Twitter. Let's see. Bryce says, I work at a rehab facility that takes in homeless. We are sanitizing like crazy, buying some sort of crazy disinfectant that is made to kill viruses. Yeah, like I said, every place is going to get, people are going and buying, everything, in the history of everything out of stores. I know that people are trying to sell that stuff on eBay and everything else. But anyway, it's a crazy time. Let's see. Where was I? Daniel says, I enjoyed your Opie Awards. I'm surprised Glass won biggest letdown instead of Hellboy, because I mostly remember you being more upset with Hellboy. When it comes to biggest letdown for me, and trust me, I danced around both of those, plus everything else on the list. I don't know. It's not easy to decide. Whenever I pick nominees, it's not easy to decide between a lot of them. Sometimes they're an easy choice. Like Cats was an easy choice to be worst. But when it came to biggest letdown, I really had to factor in my expectations. And I'm not saying it like that Glass won by a landslide, because I went back, and especially between those two, I went back and forth for biggest letdown, because I had such high hopes for both of them, even though I was peeved that Hellboy was kind of even being made. But when it came to Glass, I should have known better. I guess with Glass, I should have known better. Hellboy being bad didn't surprise me. Hellboy did have some things I liked. I loved seeing Lobster Johnson. So it's sad that the mid-credit scene of Hellboy was probably my favorite part, because other than when he showed up early in the movie, you got the ghost of Lobster Johnson and all that, and him getting to interact with Hellboy and Hellboy's fandom of him and all that stuff. We got to get all that. And then it's like, why didn't we get this in the movie? Oh, you had to tell 57 different stories in the movie. That's why. Glass, on the other hand, I should have known better. I should have known that they were going to ruin any anything they built up with Split. I mean, the Beast and every personality from Split was played off for laughs in Glass. David Dunn was barely in it, even though I loved what they did with him at the first, where he was still working with his son and all that stuff. That stuff worked for me. I really like Samuel L. Jackson in that movie, but the fact that the whole thing, I'm sorry, the twist is that there's basically a shield or a group that watches the Watchmen, so to speak. I felt like it was M. Night's way of trying to tell his own Watchmen in a way where it's like, well, there's people that won't allow this on this world. And it was boring. It was lazy and it was boring. The Beast wasn't scary. You know, the personalities of that character in Split were scary. And in this, and in Glass, they were ridiculous and dumb and played off for laughs, and I hated it. Hellboy, I didn't expect it to be good. Glass, unfortunately, I don't know why, but I expected it to be good, and it wasn't. I think that's why it edged out Hellboy as biggest letdown. Paul says Black Christmas was the worst. I agree with you, but it wasn't worse than Cats. Black Christmas at least had some promise at the first. And then it just turned into a cluster. Cats was a cluster from frame one. Rainy T says, did you see The Invisible Man? What'd you think? Sorry if you reviewed it and I forgot. Yes, I did see it. Long story short, I really enjoyed it. There were some things that didn't work for me, but all in all, I enjoyed it as a movie. Probably the best horror thriller we've had this year, which isn't saying much because we haven't had another good one. Let's see. Canto Jr. says, I'm not saying it's nothing to take seriously, but there have been more recoveries than deaths. I really can't stand Panic. Yeah, I think they're going a little too far. But then again, if it gets really bad, they want to say, I told you so, especially the government. But anyway, yeah, it's just take care of yourselves, take care of your families, stay as clean as you can. There's really not much more to say on that. Bryson says, in North Carolina, it's pretty much all around the capital. All current confirmed cases are in the county where the capital is. It's going to be in bigger places. I'm hopefully they can, keep it contained. I mean, if you look at the map of, like at the station, we've had to bring up the map of where it has popped up. And, like if you look over in Asia, how crazy it is over there. And, I think a lot of people here in this country are afraid it's going to happen over here too. It's like, just take care of yourselves the best you can. I mean, what's going to happen is going to happen. Let's see. Desiree says, M. Night Cha-Cha Slide. I just can't keep up good writing for long. Apparently need years long breaks to turn up a good story. Look, if he takes long years to tell a good story, then take long years to tell a good story. If he would have took another few years to write Glass, we might have gotten another Unbreakable. But, we got Glass instead. Daniel says Playmobil was worse than Cats. But Playmobil, Playmobil, look, they're all terrible. I mean, especially the movies that were on my worst of list, my nominees list, and the list was longer. I probably had 15 solid candidates whenever I was making my list. And yeah, Playmobil was bad, but Playmobil at least had a coherent story. It wasn't a good story, and it was a story that jumped around and wasn't very good. But Cats was just, let's introduce cats for half the movie. And then the last message is, we're not dogs. They have a song in there where Judi Dench looks at you and says, we're not dogs. I thought about going to see the new and improved version of Cats when it came out, and I couldn't. I don't think I could take it because, no pun intended, that movie made me want to claw my eyes out. Yes, Playmobil was bad, but Playmobil was a DVD movie that they released in theaters because there wasn't a kids movie out at the time. Cats was something that somebody thought they were making art. Cats was pretentious. Playmobil, as dumb as it is, it wanted to be the Lego movie. We all know that. It wanted to be the Lego movie. But Cats itself, they were just, when they were making that, they're like, and I said this in the review, we're making art. No one's going to believe the masterpiece we're making. And yeah, it's a masterpiece. All right. A masterpiece of, yeah. Paul says Rise of Skywalker is bad. I enjoyed it. It wasn't what the movie I wanted. Crazy thing was, the crazy thing about the Rise of Skywalker was a lot of Colin Trevorrow's notes have started to come out. And as much as I wanted him off that movie because of Jurassic World and that thriller he made that I can't remember the name of, where the kid leaves instructions for his mom to kill the neighbor because the neighbor's abusing his friend or something. I can't remember exactly the name of it. Book of something. But as much as I wanted him off that movie, I kind of liked his notes on the last movie, Book of Henry. Thank you, Daniel. But I liked his notes on Star Wars, and I kind of liked where he was taking the story. So now it's like, great. Yeah, Rise of Skywalker has a lot of problems. Did I enjoy a lot of it? Yes. I'm not gonna. It's definitely not the best of the new three. But anyway, Desiree says, I wish Invisible Man was like the book. Seems like they keep avoiding the book story like the plague, and I really like the book. Yeah, the story they told in this one's definitely an updated version. It steals from a few different movies, I will say that. That being said, I like what they did. I think if you had a lesser lead, that movie might not have worked. But Invisible Man, I just enjoyed it. And again, compared to what else we've gotten horror thriller wise this year, I mean, maybe that's hedging my judgment a little bit. But anyway, maybe it's forcing my judgment saying it's better. But I did enjoy it. And again, compared to what else come out this year, horror thriller wise, there's no comparison. Rob says that's funny since the movie Cats was considered a dog. Yeah, it was not good. In my opinion, of course, I know there are actually people that like it for weird reasons, and that's fine too. Bill says maybe making $100 million movie based on a musical that strung together a collection of cat-based children's poems by T.S. Eliot was the best idea. No, probably not. Kanto says, you said that Invisible Man was only a horror thriller that came out this year that you liked. Have I seen The Lodge or Color Out of Space? I have not. I've heard of The Lodge. I don't know the other one. I've only seen what's come out in theaters around here. We don't get everything. But I'll definitely have to look into those if I get a chance. I've got a list so long of movies I need to see. But yeah, when it comes to horror thrillers, of the main ones that have come out in theaters, like Gretel and Hansel and The Turning and whatever else there was that came out, the Grudge movie. I'm sure there was another one. Yeah, those I'm talking about the ones that have come out, main ones that have come out in theaters, the ones I've seen. I've heard things about The Lodge. I have not seen it though, unfortunately. Bryce says, speaking of the Rise of Skywalker, another trilogy inferior to the original ends in 2021. Jurassic World Dominion can't be saved even with Neil Dern and Goldblum. Star Wars proved nostalgia's limits. I mean, I remember whenever they tried to quote unquote save Jurassic Park 3 with Sam Neill. Yeah, I mean, I was a little disappointed with how little they used Jeff Goldblum in the last Jurassic World movie. I mean, it wouldn't have saved anything if he was in it, but more, and he probably had the better parts of it, which was the bookends. But yeah, yeah, I'm not really looking forward to that movie. Bill says Vin Diesel and Sexy Frankenstein versus Invisible Dracula. Oh boy. I'm not sure what they're going to do with Dracula and Frankenstein, but they're talking. They get a hit, and they're like, "Well, we got to make them all now." Rob says, "I want them to make a Book of Mormon movie." I actually thought that was happening. I remember hearing something about that a long time ago. I've never got to see the Book of Mormon. I want to. I would have loved to have seen it. The first run or whatever they were doing. But yeah, making plays into movies is always it's always it's a difficult thing to do. Daniel says, "Remember Chappie and Unfinished Business?" I remember Chappie. I don't remember Unfinished Business. Let's see. Ray T. A Book of Mormon movie would be really odd. Bill says, "Heads up, Smirking Gun is going to stream Shadow of Colossus on Twitch after this." Yes, definitely. If you want to watch some gameplay, again, contact Rob on Twitter to find out where he's going to be on Twitch after this if you want to watch him play Shadow of Colossus. Rob says, Trey and Matt would be able to make it work. As long as it's not basketball. No, I actually kind of enjoyed that dumb movie. Let's see. Bryce says, if Trey and Matt were involved, Book of Mormon movie could be good. Paul says, The Boy 2. Look, The Boy 2. Okay. Thankfully, I have not seen it. Thankfully, it has not come to Decatur. If it does, I will go see it. But boy, am I not going to Champaign or Bloomington or Springfield to go see The Boy 2. I remember when I first heard about that movie, I was like, really? Do we need another one? And yeah, I'm glad it didn't come here because I did not want to go see it. I was ecstatic whenever I was like, oh, I'd have to go to Springfield? No. Because I'm trying to travel a lot less, even to Springfield and Champaign and stuff, unless it's something I really want to see. Got to keep those costs down. Desiree says Hamilton is coming to theaters with the original cast Disney is producing. I'm super excited. Only I've heard the music and I'm so down for it. I've never seen it. My nephew is really into musicals and stuff right now, and I guess my brother for Christmas got him tickets to go see it. I think it was in Chicago. It's not the original cast or anything because I don't think they're doing it anymore. But he was going to go see that. I was really excited. I'm curious about that one. I'm sure it's good, and I like a good stage play. I don't know. I haven't heard much of the music either. I don't know. I've heard some of the kind of the I don't know how the delivery that of like the characters of that show. Maybe I need to see it all together because I've only seen like bits and pieces and the delivery of the lines and everything wasn't working for me. But if I see it all together, it might work better for me. I don't know. I'm curious about it. I'm also curious about that In the Heights movie that's coming out. Also, I think comes out this summer. That's supposed to be like that. Kanto says, I don't know if I've ever read the Book of Frankenstein, but I don't think there's been an adaptation that's done the novel justice. I've never read the novel. I know enough. But yeah, I'm not surprised that there hasn't been a faithful adaptation, especially when they keep trying to turn Frankenstein to superheroes and stuff. Let's see. Bryson says, Chappie, I enjoyed. I'd like another movie with Deanne Ward in it. I didn't like Chappie because I thought it was too much of a love letter to that band, even though I kind of dig that band. I don't know. It definitely was for a certain audience, and maybe I need to go back and visit it again because I only did see it the one time, I think. Um, maybe it just wasn't what I expected it to be or something. I don't know. Because I just like any other movie, if you after you think about it for a while, it's well, I kind of did enjoy that and all that. But it was definitely a love letter to that band. Because I remember when they popped up, and I'm like, oh, hey, cool. Because also a buddy of mine was really into that band, and he super was excited for that movie, and he loved that movie because it was all about them. But yeah, it was. Yeah, just whenever I thought it was a little too much about them. But again, that's one I probably should check out again. Um, let's see. Rob says, "What happened to Katie Holmes' career that made her take the role in The Boy 2? Sad, she deserves better than that." I mean, she once she got married there a while back, she didn't do a lot, and Hollywood kind of passed her by, unfortunately. Um, I'm not saying I'm her biggest fan, but I've seen her in stuff I liked her in. Um, and somebody had to be in The Boy too, I guess. Bryce says, of course we needed The Boy too, since we so needed the Gallows too. We need a dumb horror movie for 12-year-olds. Oh God. Yeah, The Boy 2, I predicted the twist in The Boy really early. And when it happened, I'm like, I was hoping it wouldn't, and it happened, and it was dumb. And then now we got The Boy 2. Fantastic. Because they needed to make it supernatural, I guess. Then again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know what they did. Daniel says, I enjoyed Chappie. Unfinished Business was all right, but I don't think it will. I will enjoy it nowadays. Daniel says, In the Heights is Step Up done right. Gotta Step Up done right. God, I remember Step Up. I didn't see a lot of those dance movies, but I did see that one. Desiree says, only Frankenstein adaptation I feel is remotely faithful, aside from the Karloff one, was the one in Penny Dreadful. Such a tragic character. Not a show I've seen. Yeah, you're not going to get a lot of faithful adaptation nowadays because they want to put a new they're going to put a new twist and spin on everything. I mean, again, like I Frankenstein, Dracula Untold, and they got to be new and edgy. I would love to see if they're going to do something with Dracula. I would love to see them do something. If they're going to go crazy. Put it in the future or something, kind of like a Vampire Hunter D kind of spin on it or something. By the way, if you haven't seen the new season of Castlevania, it's pretty good. I can't say I enjoyed it as much as the first two seasons, but I thought it was pretty good. Ray says somebody had to be in The Boy. Yeah, somebody had to. Bill says, looks like they're remaking Spawn with Jamie Foxx. I heard, was it today or yesterday, that he may be out, that Jamie Foxx may be out of it now because it's taking too long to get made. I don't know if that's true, or it's just I remember reading a story about that. So I don't know if he's still in it or not. Rob says The Boy 3 should have the roles reversed, where everyone is a talking doll scared of a real live boy sitting in the room. It would probably be a better movie. Bryce says, even following horror, I feel I've seen very little about Antlers. Yeah, I haven't seen much about that either. And it's been a while since I've seen anything. Rain T says, Step Up movies are my guilty pleasure. They are horrible. I didn't watch a lot of those stuff, but I remember I sat through that one, and yeah, it didn't really do much for me. But hey, I'll give him credit for like the talent. I will give him the credit there. Kanto says, I love the Karloff one, but it's not a faithful adaptation. Daniel says, remember when X-Men Apocalypse and Alice Through the Looking Glass opened against each other? That weekend was supposed to be a huge hit since X-Men, it was X-Men and Alice plus Memorial Day. And I'm glad both of them didn't work out. Desiree says, Karloff ain't faithful, but it hits some of the beats of the book more so than the other movies. Daniel says, but the opening weekend results for those movies were disappointing. And Alice was nowhere near the X-Men 65 million. Only made 26 million because the Johnny Depp controversy surrounding it. Oh boy, the Johnny Depp controversy. Boy, is that a mess right now. It sounds like they both of them weren't doing so well. And then now I'm hearing there's been rumblings out there that they want Depp to be the next Joker. So we'll see how that works out. Anyway, if you guys got anything else you want to talk about, definitely get it in the chat here. We'll probably wrap up here pretty soon. And I'm glad it's still working. I'm honestly surprised I remembered how to do this. Let's see. But yeah, there's not much to talk about about the channel. I'm just going to be playing catch up this week and probably next. I don't have a ton to catch up on, but definitely got to catch up on a few things. And there's a lot of movies out there I want to see. Voodoo especially has a lot of newer movies that people have told me about, or I've seen trailers for. Like I mentioned Guns Akimbo earlier, VFW someone mentioned. There was a couple other movies. Jeffrey D. Morgan is in a movie. It's called like The Postcard Killer that comes out this weekend. It was supposed to be in theaters, but Voodoo's going to have it. I want to see that one. There's just a bunch of them I want to see. Will I get to see them all right away? No, probably not. But definitely got a lot of movies I want to catch up on, a lot of videos I need to make, a lot of things I want to do, but we'll get caught up eventually. Let's see. Where was I? Bryce says, the true horror question, can Lovecraft actually be adapted into film? The whole It's So Horrible. You can't imagine how they put it on screen. Who knows? Maybe it's like one of those things like Watchmen, even though they did make Watchmen and they made a TV show. Maybe it's one of those things where it's like it's unfilmable. You just never know. Bill says Willem Dafoe should be the next Joker. I've been saying that for a long time, that he should be the Joker. I mean, just look at that scene in Spider-Man where he's doing the big smile. I think was it the artist Boss Logic turned him into the Joker? On his Twitter page, he does like turning actors into different characters type stuff. And he turned him into the Joker. And it's like, yeah, I could see that. Willem Dafoe would be an amazing Joker. I'm really hoping whoever they pick next, they go classic Joker. I mean, it looks like with this new Batman, they're going kind of classic. So I'm kind of hoping that, or at least somewhat classic. I mean, it's not going to be, blue underwear tights over gray underwear tights Batman, but they're definitely going like they're going for like an older school feel. So hopefully we get, the type of Joker from like the older comics. I don't need to see a new adaptation of the Joker, and who knows if they're going to be connecting like the Harley Quinn world to this Batman world or anything. I don't know. I mean, we just don't know what they're doing yet. It does got me curious though. I do like what I see coming from Batman so far. Let's see. Daniel says the other reason why Alice flopped because it was 6 years too late. People only like the 2010 film because of the 3D, just like Avatar. Terrible reviews and poor marketing. I remember thinking the first one was okay. I didn't love it though. Definitely too late though. Paul says, when are you going to be doing a bad game? Or when are you going to do bad game? Oh, Gino's bad games. I was like, what bad game? I've played lots of bad games. I was planning one for like some one-offs, and those will probably still happen. My next big one is going to be delayed. But anyway, that one got delayed. It'll be delayed probably for later this year. It was something for James Bond. And I'll tell the story of that later. whenever it happens. But I'm trying to decide what like big game I'm going to play next. I'll probably have some one-offs coming soon. I see Rainy T has to leave us. I see Rob has to leave us. Hey, take care. We'll be ending here in a bit, I think. But thank you for joining me on this comeback stream after God, still can't believe it's been 2 months. Let's see. Daniel says also the film was over budget and huge competition since it's competing against Civil War, Angry Birds, Ninja Turtle 2's Finding Dory. Yeah, I'm not surprised it didn't do well. Desiree says, I think it depends on which Lovecraft story they do. Personally, I feel it should be a TV show surrounding around Miskatonic University investigating the mythos and getting involved in all the insanity. I would definitely check that out. Bill says, can Lovecraft be adapted to film? I mean, did you see Cats? Good point. Yeah, but would they have to make the Lovecraft film that by accident? Because Cats was supposed to be amazing in art and a masterpiece. And it turned out to be what it is. Because I know some people see it because of just how crazy it is. So would something of Lovecraft have to be an accident? Like to be good, to work. Bryce says, I almost want to get Hulu just to see The Devil in the White City. DiCaprio as H.H. Holmes, directed by Scorsese. Yes, please. Yeah, Hulu's been getting some stuff I want to see, but I just can't spend more money to get it. I've got too many streaming services as it is. But Rob says he's getting his stream ready. Again, if you're gonna check out a video game stream, contact Rob on Twitter, and he will tell you where his Twitch stream is because he's trying to avoid some trolley stuff. Let's see. Bryson, just now Desmond Tom Hanks says CV. Great. And on that note, I think we're going to go ahead and end it for tonight, guys. Since I'm still not 100%, I'm going to go get some rest. I hope you guys have a good night. Thank you so much for joining me on this comeback stream. We should be back in the next 2 weeks. Just follow me on Twitter and everything else to be reminded of that stuff. I'm sure we'll be back in 2 weeks, but anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for coming. Thanks for sticking with me, and we'll see you on the next one. See you later.